Hello everyone, welcome to and back to my YouTube channel. If you are new, my name is Tumelo Modipa, and remember, be sure to subscribe. I know it's been a minute, but I'm so glad that you guys are back here with me for this video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about moving tips and everything to consider. Not everything, but at least a few things to consider if you are going to be moving in the future. This is based on what I've tried and what I did when I moved. Hence, I've not been here for a while. I'm still trying to settle and adjust. Yes, so without any further wasting of time, I will just get straight into the tips that I have prepared for you guys. So first things first, you obviously know why you are moving. So the first thing to consider, I think this is also very important, is to go view the place, view as much as you possibly can. The reason why you should go view is, first, are you happy with the place, the actual place where you think you want to go stay? How close is it to a lot of things like shopping centers, police station if needs be? How close is to, if you're moving for the purposes of school, how close is it from school, or how far? If you're moving also for the purposes of work, how close is it to your workplace? Also provided transport. Are you going to drive there, or are you going to have to take public transport? So those are the things to that's one thing to consider. Also, if you are comfortable and you think you have found the place that you want to be staying at, it'd be nice to also just try to travel. If you're driving, drive from where you are to the workplace, or from that place to school, or to walk there if it's a walking distance, to just gauge and see if it's doable. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, have a budget. This will guide you as to, you will not just be all over the place in terms of what you're looking for. So if you have a budget, that will actually just now discipline you and guide you in where to look. Because if you start looking for places that are way above your budget, that is also considering things like rent and electricity, groceries and transport. So if you look way above your budget, that also might leave you feeling a bit down when you have to now come back to the realities of budget, that when you were looking outside of your budget, you saw things that you like, and now that you have to come back to your budget, you are not as happy as you were with other things that were outside of your budget. So stick to your budget. The third thing to consider is, do you want to live alone or do you want to share? The nice thing about living alone is definitely you have the space all to yourself. But also the nice thing about sharing is you get to split costs like rent, electricity and water, as I mentioned. And also sharing now depends on where you are moving. Are you moving as a student or as a, I think it's indifferent. It's just it's more of a how far out are you willing to share your space? Are you okay with just sharing with one person? Are you okay with maybe living in a commune? So those are things to consider as well. The other thing is to save for the move. Moving can be expensive, so you need to save. I feel like if you know maybe a year ahead of time, then you definitely have a lot of time to save for that move. So save as much as you can when you know that you are going to be moving. I understand with saving, one would wonder why I'm stressing that you must save. There are places when you are looking, there are places that would require you to pay a deposit, which would be a month's rent in advance, admin fees and all these things. So you might have, even before you move into the place, pay amounts way above 10,000 rands. And if you had not budgeted or saved for that, then that might discourage you as well. So you need to consider saving, so that when you have to pay such fees, then that you have the money readily available. So that is why I'm stressing the idea of saving for the move if you are going to be moving. Also to save, if you have to buy like a bed, a fridge, and also those are things to consider. But the other thing when it comes to those things, which is I think the last point that I'm gonna make, is you don't need to immediately furnish when you move. If you are like me and are moving straight out of home, definitely you wouldn't have all these things to furnish your place. Unlike someone who's moving from one apartment into another apartment, I'd like to believe they would already have all these things like your couches and. So you don't really need to furnish straight away, unless if in my previous point you had saved for all these things, then you can definitely furnish. And I will say, yes, I have moved, it's been a month and I still have not furnished. I'm okay with just having a bed. And then all these other things I will get as time goes by as well. This also just gives me time to figure out what I like, and also how to go about my space. So those are just a few of the things that I would like to bring forth to you guys if you're considering moving. So those are just a few of the things I have had to think about before and during my move. I also want to share with you guys my experience with regard to moving and what has been exciting, what has been moments where I wanted to cry. First and foremost, moving for me was exhausting, in the sense that I had to pack up my bags, which took me a full week, by the way. And there was the whole packing, and now from packing to taking everything to the car, and then driving from home to my now new place. And when we got here, we had to unload everything from the car and bring it up to my flat. And the other thing to consider about moving, guys, is whether the place has a lift or not, depending on the floor which you're going to. And unfortunately for me, my place did not have a lift. And I don't think I really thought this through, but I did not, because then now we had to go back downstairs, walk all the way to the 3rd floor. So that was part of the most exhausting thing about my move. Also, the nice thing about moving is I think it's just a change of scenery, but my gosh, I missed home. My mom does not know what I'm about to say, so hello mom. Yeah, this is what happened to your child. So my mom was here with me for 2 days, so she helped me settle, and after she left, I was not able to down food for an entire week. I guess I was already homesick. Also because I was home for an entire year. I was so used to being home and around my family and my parents, so much so that now moving into my own place, away from family, they just, make me feel rather, so much so that I just wanted to go back home. So yeah, that was just my experience. I loved it. I used public transport, so now the whole readjustment, trying to figure out where what is, but we get used to it. It's it's been a nice thing, I think. And then the other thing is moving during COVID, you guys. You move to a totally new place. I was home and it felt safe because I was home. Now I have to be wearing a mask full time, sanitizing as often as I possibly can, and all these things, trying to avoid touching surfaces and all these things. So that was just a few things that were just very different about this move overall from all the times I've had to move for school. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. If you're considering moving, definitely I think this video might just prove helpful. But then, other than that, I just hope that you guys enjoyed having me back here, and I'm so glad that I'm also back.